Recently, Tetsubo57 posted a video titled 20 Questions regarding what you are doing with your current role-playing game. I'm currently running Castles&Crusades, so I'm going to answer the 20 questions. How are ability scores generated? What method are you using? That would be roll 46, drop the lowest. Question 2, how are death and dying handled? Start dying at around 0, and you're dead at negative con, you know. What about raising the dead? In my campaign, we're currently starting on first level, and that's Mrs. Dumas playing a really cool video game in the background. Okay, thank you, honey. What about raising the dead? Since the characters are currently at first level, raising the dead would only be reserved for mid-level important NPCs and player characters. They probably won't start getting raised until maybe 5th or 6th level, depending on what's going on, or if they can actually make a very good case as to why they need XYZ person instead of a replacement. How are replacement NPCs, how are replacement characters handled? Well, it'll depend on the situation, but for the most part, they will be getting their replacements from the city and of their origin, of the campaign's origin, actually. Initiative, individual, group, or something else. Currently, right now, something else until something better comes along. The player characters do individual, whereas monsters are broken up into smaller groups. This makes less paperwork for me. You know, it's like, oh yeah, goblin number 120 just made his initiative, and now he's going to go ahead. Yeah, just, okay, goblin group A, goblin group B, goblin group C. There, end of story. Limited to maybe 4 monsters per group, that sort of thing. Are there critical hits and fumbles? Yes. How do they work? I will be consulting charts where something hilarious can actually happen in the game. I've used them before, and it's proven to be endless amounts of enjoyment, at least for me. I can't necessarily say the same for the players, especially when they roll critical fumbles, but there are times where critical fumbles have worked on their behalf. Do I get any benefits for wearing a helmet? I might give you an extra bonus to your armor class, that's about it. Can I hurt my friends if I fire into melee or do something similarly silly? Yes. Again, PCs blowing each other up with a misplaced fireball is endless hilarity and enjoyment for me. Will we need to run some encounters, or will we be able to trade to kill everything? Again, it will be totally up to the players. Again, if you're going to go up against a level 10 orc chieftain when you're just a level 2 character, again, endless enjoyment for me. Let's see, life-draining monsters, yes or no? Yes. Are there going to be cases where a failed save results in PC death? If you have taken the time out of your game to warn a PC at least 3 times not to do XYZ stupid thing, yes, there will be a case where a failed save results in death. I do, you know, luck sometimes favors the bold, other times it favors, but most times it favors the DM. How strictly are encumbrance and resources tracked? If it's not in your character sheet, it doesn't exist. If it's not on the party treasure list, it doesn't exist. That sort of thing. What's required when my PC gains a level of training, or do I get new spells automatically? In this particular case, to get new spells, they would have to go back to the city where they are being trained, or go to the local wizard college and see if they can actually buy of some spells, that sort of thing. Can it happen in the middle of adventure? Again, well, if you're using your lockpick skill repeatedly, yes, it does get better. Just by the way the skill system works on Castles and Crusades. or do I have to wait for downtime? Again, it will have to depend on the situation. What do I get experience for? Killing monsters, defeating traps, helping the DM. If you actually come up with a line in game where you make the DM laugh, and to the point where he's crying, you actually do get experience points for that. It's called Line of the Day. How are traps located? Description, dice rolling, or some combination? Yes. I will describe the trap, and I will describe how it looks. They will, yes, have to roll the dice in order to defeat it. Unless they can give me a really good reason as to why they shouldn't. But again, it would have to be really good. Are retainers encouraged, and does morale work? Castles and Crusades really doesn't have rules as far as retainers go. At least not in the books that I have. I'm sure they probably have something in the Castle Keeper's Guide, which I do not own as of yet. So at the moment, no, retainers are not encouraged. And so I'm not dealing with morale. Well, as far as monsters go, maybe they'll make a wisdom save or something like that, depending on what's going on. How do I identify magic items? Identify spell and detect magic. Those two are the main components used in identifying magical items. I also usually tell them that magical items are always masterwork. They are always well crafted. They are always well built. They are always works of art. So if they get a really well made shield or a really well made piece of armor, more likely than not, it is magical. Well, there's a possibility that it's magical. Maybe it's cursed. Can I buy magic items? Oh, come on, how about just potions? Potions are extremely expensive to make. If you can afford a potion, you can possibly buy a potion if you go to the alchemist. If you want to buy magic items, for the most part, they are reserved for mid to high level characters, and you would have to shell out a pretty penny in order to get them. So, yes, you can buy them, you just have to have the money for it. Can I create magic items? You can create when and how. You can create magic items according to when the rules say you can create magic items. Not before. What about splitting up the party? Endless hilarity for me. Of course, it's a lot of paperwork, but endless hilarity for me, because whenever you split up the party, players tend to do something really stupid. So that's always entertaining. So those are my 20 questions. I'll post 20 answers to 20 questions. Thank you, honey. That's Mrs. Dumas. Apparently she's feeling a bit giddy from the last video we did together. Anyway, so our first video together, yes. So yeah, that's about it. So 20 questions, 20 answers. I'll post a link to Tetsubo's 57 channel in the crotch bar, and check out his channel. He actually has some really good insights on role-playing games and things like that, along with some very interesting views on politics. Don't necessarily agree with them all, but he has a really cool channel. Anyway, this is Dumak the Artist signing off. Slanchini Falcha. Have a nice day.